On the Couch with ANDO, and it's brought to you by Rachel Laurie from Ray White's North Adelaide. So thank you very much, Rachel. With me today, Mick Bryan. Mate, thank you very, very much.
Thanks to you, ANDO. Good to see you.
Now, President of the Barossa League.
Yeah.
It's a massive job, and you've been doing it for a while now.
5 years, yeah. I've been on the board 19, so... Yeah,
wow.
Yeah,
so when did you... Because I know you're from Rosewater area.
Yep.
When did you first come up to...
Come up here in 1990, and then
Yep.
I got connected with Williston for 10 years, and then finished there, and then went onto the board.
I went onto the board?
Yeah.
So, because I know at the moment when you look at your point systems and your pay systems, obviously does that make it hard? I mean, getting players here, all of a sudden you got a club that wants to recruit 3 or 4.
Yeah.
You've got to worry about points. You've got salary caps now. Makes it hard.
We always had the point system in on the old import rule before the salary cap come in.
Yeah.
So it goes on a win ratio.
Yep.
Win-loss ratio. So if you're on top, it depends on the amount of games you might have got 0 to 3. You get so many players,
okay.
right?
Yep.
So you can have 3 players, or you got 3 points. Now that was the old days as imports. Yeah. Nowadays it is points. So if you're on top, you might only get 6 points.
Okay.
So therefore you can get 1 and a bit. SNFL players. So we always thought you didn't need a salary cap because you couldn't get the players in.
Yeah.
You can't spend the money.
Can't spend the money. That's true as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it actually
so
works.
And the bottom side could go down up to 15 points. We don't go any higher than 15.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So as president of the club, of the association, sorry, happy with all the junior development? And,
our junior development is very good. You know.
It's always been a super league, hasn't it? I mean, I know it because my sister was down at Nuri, and she was on the board there, and went and watched a few games, and always very strong.
We had lad that played for Gold Coast last week, drafted this year, McClellan from Tanunda.
Oh, fantastic!
So he was straight at the draft. Central Districts are very good to us. They put a lot of money into our league.
Yeah.
The other clubs that I speak to around the country meetings, they don't put nowhere near the money that Centrals, and they provide. Our junior development is good, and we go right down to under 9s, and a couple of clubs are struggling at the moment. The smaller clubs out at like Freeling and Kapunda, but they're fielding sides all right. So that's
well, Freeling probably boom with the new freeway going through, and all of a sudden you're going to have all the problems in the world. You're going to have that many kids out there.
Yeah. So in 5 to 10,
turn, doesn't it?
Yeah. It goes. It's a cycle.
Yeah. So do you have to go to like every week you have to go to a game, or you go to your old team? And
the board doesn't go to their home clubs. I'll see Williston 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah, of course.
But I go to a different game each week. Yeah. So this Thursday I'll see 2. Yeah. I'll go because we've got 2 Anzac Day games.
Yeah.
Tanunda play Barossa at Tanunda, and Nuri.
Fantastic.
Nuri play Anguston at Nuri. So I'll do half at Tanunda, then shoot up to Nuri.
Yeah.
And there'll be big crowds at that. Last year on this round, the 4 games was split over 3 days.
Yep.
We totalled over 8,000 people.
Wow. And you'll have special events that's happening at the grounds for Anzac Day.
The local
Anzac, should I say?
Local RSL do the whole ceremonies at both grounds.
Yeah. Isn't that fantastic?
Yeah. And there's medals named after people who were killed from the area.
Yeah.
So that's for football and netball.
Fantastic, yeah. So where did you play your footy? Because I mean, I know you're at Rosies.
Rosies,
so all Rosies.
All Rosewater.
So what brought you up here though?
I come up and bought a pub down the road here.
Okay, so I mean, your family's always been involved. So you had the Albion Hotel. You still got the Albion Hotel, of course.
Peter took it over, and so I come up here, and that's how. Yeah.
And so you still got your pub now?
No, I'm out of that. No.
Just retired, just enjoying yourself.
I do a bit of work for a mate in the valley in the Browhouse at Anguston. And your old man was my first coach at Rosewater.
Is that right? Oh, Wally.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. And I played with your uncle Chook.
So how many games did you play at Rosies then?
150.
Geez, you're not there. So you've spent a long time out there.
Yeah.
And any good memories? A couple of good memories. My dad obviously yelling at you. He did me plenty of times as well. Yeah, he was a tough coach, they tell me.
Oh yeah.
I had one.
Can be a bit silly at times. While he could have been.
I had one past player reckons that he made Ayers Rock look like a sponge a couple of times when he gave a couple of half-time sort of strip downs, as they say in those days.
But I played with four blokes who are very hard footballers.
Yeah.
Your uncle Chuka.
Yeah, tough.
Don Williams, Chopsy Williams, my brother Peter and Rodney Elliott. They're all very hard. Yeah. Played against some good players, the late Paul Rofe.
So you know, like in your day, they were A1 and a little bit A2 and
mainly all A1.
All A1. It was all A1. Yeah.
They were for 4 years in a row. They were in the top three.
So it is a bit sad to see Rose. I know we should be talking the Brossa League, but it is Ando's on the couch. So I've changed the script a little bit.
It is sad, but I think what happened is that the money came into amateur league, and Rosewater didn't spend money on players, which I don't mind they did, which the other clubs do. That Mr. Kernian said they don't, but they do, and they do spend a lot more money than the country league.
So does that keep your your finger on the pulse with your own league, making sure that everyone has an opportunity to be a strong club year in year out?
We can do that by the point system. How we have it. So if you're well, it's only proven 3 years ago. Gawler Centrals went from bottom to top. And because they had 15 points. Roger James did a perfect example at Barossa. He coached them to 2 premierships. Then all the blokes went to the amateur league for big money. So he just played kids for 2 years. He wouldn't buy anybody in who's not good enough. So they went up to 15 points. Then he got Miles in now as coach, and Roger coached all these kids, got them all the games under the belt, taught them all everything, took over. Then they won 2 more premierships. So it rotates.
You've got to keep it. You want an even competition.
And what we're all hopefully happy is that all our clubs are financially viable.
So that's important. Because I was coaching out at Hallett Cove in the Southern League, and we had one team at like Aldinga and a couple of teams out there would win by 30 goals, and then you play Ranella and Morphettvale and a couple of and you it's a goal the difference either way, and that was always it's always an issue, I suppose, for the presidents to make sure that that they've got it's an even competition, and when you're going to support your team, you've got half a chance of winning.
Well, last round, out of 4 games, there were results 1 point, 2 points, 3 points.
So that's fantastic.
So it gives you the competition. I reckon this year will be very, very even. Very hard to pick the top 5 at the moment.
So one of your good moments as president of the club, president of the association, one of the good grand finals, or
I reckon last year's grand final at Gawler was magnificent.
One of the best.
We had over 7,000 there, and the way they set it up was pretty good. All the grand finals have been done wonderfully well. I think this, now that we're live streaming football, is a big plus.
Fantastic.
And we thank the organisation for that.
So you get one game.
We get one game every week is live stream.
Fantastic.
So tomorrow it's Tanunda and Barossa at Anzac Day. Other things, just to see that clubs have been down at the bottom coming up. Just the general and competition strong. Juniors are strong, great.
You've really got them sit nicely.
And we're lucky because we work with netball.
And we were talking about that last week, how fantastic it is to, you got the footballers out there just over the other side of the oval, you got the netballers going against it, and they just come together as a beautiful community.
It's a great relationship, and that's a very big plus for us. And to have, we're lucky over the last few years to have a bloke like Roger James in our league.
Got some big names in your league at the moment, by the way.
Somerton.
Somerton, fantastic to get his experience. Obviously we know he's just a wonderful player, but to have his experience and many
to
others
teach kids.
Well.
To teach kids. That's our biggest asset.
It's a future, isn't it?
Our future, really is, and all these clubs have got good kids. And I suppose, the league was proud last year that the captain of the premiership side come from our league, Bunga Hearn, come from Angus.
Of course, that's right.
So
So that's good.
Yep.
Yeah. I was actually chatting about you. I was with down at Clare Caravan Park, and your name came up with my brothers and the sisters who you know.
And Roger
and
Dugan.
It was well, Roger was there as well, and
we played a lot of cricket together, Roger.
I know you and Roger did, and we were chatting about a New Year's Eve at Steve Davis's place.
Yes.
Yeah. And I remember you being there, a couple of quiet ones.
Yes.
That was a good night, actually.
Yeah.
Some good names
no one have a couple of quiet ones down again. So.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Mate, thanks so much for joining on the couch.
And thanks, Anno. Thank you.
Really and you're doing a wonderful job, and have the association up in lights like you've got them, and all the best for this week's round. No, it's really important, to your league and also to you. To commemorate, the
Anzac Day.
I think it's fantastic, mate.
And I thank you for my time. Thanks for giving me time. Thank you.
Back shortly.